Today, I want to share with you the most important thing I did to get rid of my knee pain. Everyone out there recommends you do this exercise or that exercise. They're not wrong, but they all overlook one significant detail that makes all the difference, and it has nothing to do with exercise. The sooner you add this one thing, the sooner you'll recover. First, here's what injury has meant for me. It's been the biggest roadblock on this journey. At the same time, it's the single biggest source of growth and awareness. Why is that? Here's something that's true for all of us. When everything is going well, it's difficult to grow. I don't mean physical growth or material wealth, things you can only see on the outside. I'm talking about mental and spiritual growth. Who am I as a person? Who do I want to become? Without facing challenges, these questions are impossible to answer. Injury is just one of those challenges. No matter what our goals are, the difficulties are how we measure progress. It is how we find the meaning, the why of what we're doing, even if it's just for the day. I started running about a year ago. I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't join a gym or a running club. Something just compelled me to do it. I was looking for the least expensive thing I could do to get in shape. At the time, I didn't have a lot of money. In the beginning, it was difficult. But whenever you start something new, it's difficult. We call them growing pains. My lungs burned. I couldn't catch my breath. I was out of shape. But I was okay with that, because when I was done, I knew that every day going forward was never going to be as hard as that first day. If I stuck with it, there would be improvement each time, no matter how small. So I kept showing up to run, and sure enough, little by little, I got better. Everything was in flow. And then I got injured. My first serious and lengthy injury from running. I knew I was done for a while. Whether you run or not, you've probably experienced this before. Everything is going well, and then all of a sudden you're hit with something that flips your world upside down. A truth you believed in turned out to be wrong. Maybe someone in your life is no longer in your life. These become the dark moments where you question everything. So what are you supposed to do when this happens? I did a couple things. First, I got a little depressed. I felt sorry for myself because my identity, based on who I thought I was, a runner, was suddenly taken away from me. I felt a sense of loss. I truly felt like I had found something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Suddenly, I couldn't do it anymore. The second thing that happened to me, though, made all the difference. If you're lucky, the other thing that happens is that you realize through this dark period, you'll come out changed. You won't be the same person. Unfortunately, not everyone accepts this. That's why I said if you're lucky. If you only do the physical exercises and ignore the bigger reason for your injury, you may be stronger, but your mind will stay the same. Your attitude will stay the same. And you'll end up in the same situation you were in before you got hurt. It's called denial. But those of you who are brave enough to look deeper will understand the injury is an opportunity for growth. You know you won't be the same person when you've come out the other side. You can't. It's impossible. And it takes courage to accept that, because facing change is always a little scary. We tend to fear the unknown. That's why most of us shy away from these difficult moments in our lives. We push it out of our minds, or we focus only on the problem and not the root cause, because it's easier and safer than looking inward at ourselves. So why does this matter? What does this have to do with getting better? Here's why. At the start, I was in denial about how serious my injury was. After a few days of focused exercises, I would go running even though I knew I wasn't ready. Of course, each time I did that, the pain just kept coming back. It felt like I was on a roller coaster, both physically and emotionally. I felt more depressed and frustrated because I had been on a path toward good health for once in my life, and then suddenly it was stripped away from me. I tried every exercise I found online, but nothing really worked, and it seemed to be taking forever until I did this one thing. If you're at a similar point and feel like you've tried every exercise out there, give this next thing a try. Instead of fighting the injury or resisting it, do the opposite. Embrace it. Embrace the fact that you're hurt and that your body needs rest. Embrace the difficulty that lies ahead. Most importantly, embrace the change that will happen in your mind. Someone once said, "What you resist persists." You may be asking yourself, why me? Why is this happening to me? Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? We should ask ourselves, why is this happening for me? This is a big difference. When you ask yourself, why is this happening for me? Your mind focuses on the solution. What is the reason for this? What am I supposed to learn? I thought about this for a while. What you resist persists. It made sense, so I started to ask myself, why was this happening for me? Why was this injury in my life? When I did that, the answer came to me. Now, my answer is going to be different from your answer because everyone is unique and each circumstance is unique. Yet, the answer you find is always what lies at the heart of your injury. That's how you know it's the real reason, not a distraction or a tangent. For me, accepting the injury was about accepting the fact that I'm older. I had to accept that I was going to get injured more often than someone younger, and it would take me twice as long to recover. I had to stop fighting the fact that I wasn't young anymore and embrace this new phase of my life. It's about appreciating where you are instead of wanting something that no longer belongs to you. Once I did that, something changed. As soon as I accepted the problem, I started feeling less down on myself. It felt like a weight had been lifted. Why does this work? Acceptance works because it aligns you with the universe. It means you're not in denial anymore. By accepting the injury and what it meant for me, I could now focus my attention on the exercises I needed to do in order to get better. Before, I was focusing on the problem. Now, I'm focusing on recovery. Getting injured becomes just a part of the process of getting better at what you do. It is only a portion of that bigger journey that all of us are on. The injury no longer defines us. That is how I got over my runner's knee. It's not about how much exercise you do, although that shouldn't be ignored. It's also about strengthening your mind and discovering what you're capable of. Difficult moments will happen time and time again in our lives. They're unavoidable, but it's how we handle them that decides whether we grow or not. So every time you're faced with a dark moment, ask yourself, why is this happening for me? As soon as you learn to accept it, you're moving in the direction of growth. That's the direction I want to be moving toward, growth. How about you?